Uh, Welcome to the course of Design of Machine Elements 1. In our previous video, we learnt the shafts, types of shafts, and what are the properties that we like to be in a shaft. In the next video, we learnt about what are the forces that have been applied over the shaft if the gear or pulley has been concentric. So in this example, we will try to consider a case and try to solve or try to design the shaft. And the whole the way, this is in a customer oriented case, and I will be using a reference of a data handbook, 3rd edition by Madhavan and Balvi Reddy, all the way, in all the cases that I am going to solve over here regarding the shaft. So first example I have to take is, this is a case 1, where in all, a section, I have to consider this, a section of steel shaft of 2 meter long, supported between bearings, carries a pulley of diameter 600 mm, right, very important, 600 mm, weighing 1 kN at its midpoint. And the pulley delivers power to a machine carrying a tension of 6 kN in a tension side of the belt and 3 kN in the slack side of the belt. And the belt drives is horizontal, very important over here. This statement, the belt drives is horizontal, is very important. Assuming the loads are steady, determine the load, determine the diameter of the shaft if the allowable shear stress in the shaft material is 40 MPa. So this is the case, and we'll try to solve this. As I said that, in order to solve this case, I'll be using up a data handbook, 3rd edition, written by Madhavan and Balvi Reddy. So initially, what I prescribe is, before going it for designing the shaft, try to understand the whole case very clearly and try to make it out, like what all we had in it. So for this, I will be considering up one small sketch. Okay, then this is a pulley which has been loaded at the mid of a shaft. I consider this shaft, and this shaft is of 2 meter, has been given in a case. And since the pulley has been loaded at the mid, so it's of 1 meter sides. So I consider this the diameter of pulley as 600 mm, and the side view of this is somewhere looks like this, and the weight of pulley is 1 kN, which is again given in this case. And next, I consider T1 and T2 as a tight side and slack side, as in it's given over here 6 Newton and 3 kN, 6 kN and 3 kN at the tight and slack sides. So next would be the summation of those two would be T1 plus T2. I'm just gonna refer this line, the sketches using this case which has been given to us. So next would be, now since we know it's, I consider this as rotating it in a clockwise direction, and I point this as in a point A, and at that point as point B at the ends, and I will call this the point where the pulley has been uploaded, I call it as a C. Now, once I do this, satisfied with the condition what has been given over here, now I will go ahead by sorting out the givens. So first is the weight of pulley is given, which is said to be 1 kilonewton weight of pulley, and next will be a T1, it is a 6 kilonewton, I convert that into a Newton. T2, it is a 3 kilonewton, I convert that into again 300 Newton. And the loads are steady, which is again given over there, which is very important. I will let you know why this point is very important, loads are steady. We need to find out how it will be happening, because whenever I consider a shaft on working and I had it on working out, there are very lot of things comes in consideration, whether loads are steady, whether loads are uneven, or whether the shaft that I'm going to use, it will be on a main highway roads or off roads, or the roads on where there will be suddenly applied load, lot of things come in existence. In this case, the loads are steady, and the tau d is given over there, it is of around 40 MPa. So diameter 600 mm, diameter of a pulley is been given over here, and more overly we want to find out what is the diameter, that where the design of the shaft come in existence. Okay. Now the solution, first more important solution is, I will be considering a maximum stress theory. Formula for this to understand, I will be considering a maximum stress theory formula, which comes with page number 42. This is a data handbook 3rd edition, written by Madhavan and Balvi Reddy, So page number 42, I will be considering this equation, which is of 3.6 equation. Now just check in, I wrote this equation. That's a page number and that's a equation number, and this is an equation. Since this whole shaft we have been designing is a solid shaft, so therefore K is equal to 0. I'm gonna reread this whole formula into this, and when I read this This is what the formula has sense to be. 16 divided by pi tau max into root of Cm m square plus of Ctt whole square to the power of 1 by 3. So this is a basic question. Now I need to find out what all the unknowns that we had into it. I will substitute everything into this formula and find out what is the diameter of a shaft. So I know tau max, all the way I need to find out Cm, m, Ct and T. So for this I will move ahead with the torsional moment where we are going to find out what is T. So we know that the general equation of T would be T1 plus T2 into d by 2, where the d is the diameter of a pulley. Now I was substituting the T1 value and T2 values and divided by 2. You know very well that when I do this, the torque what I got is 90 into 10 to the power of 4 Newton mm. So this is a torsional moment that I get using or the given by taking into consideration what all they given to me. So further, the bending moment. This is a very important part of this design. Here, in order to design a shaft, it's very important to understand how this bending moment will go across in the shaft and what all the vertical forces and horizontal forces that I need to consider in order to design the shaft. So for the bending moment, I will be considering up to understand what are the vertical and horizontal forces. I will consider this side view of an element. So where I know that pulley weight 1 kilonewton, it's been given over here, and T1 and T2 are the tight side and tight slack side torsion tension, and the summation of those two would be T1 plus T2. By this you can easily understand that I do have one vertical force and one horizontal force. And now I'm going to find out what all the vertical and horizontal force at this pulley C. Why do I call this pulley C? Is because I mounted this at point C, if you could remember my initial solution part of this video. So the vertical load at C would be Fv, I call it as an Fv, as you could see here, vertical load Fv, which is a weight of pulley, which is 1 kilonewton, which is given over here. And further, the direction is downwards. Next will be what will be the horizontal load that I could see here. So horizontal load at the pulley C would be the summation of T1 plus T2, as you could see here. So it's a summation of T1 plus T2, and this is a force. So the 6 plus 3 is equal to 9 Newton. So in the further, the direction towards right side. Whatever direction I could get over here, the same thing I will note even over here. So further, what will be the vertical bending moment over here? So in order to draw like how this implies of how the bending moment will go across. So for which I will consider one shaft, a line, draw a line which is of a 2 meter long, and I will be applying a vertical load. You know that vertical load what been in this case is 1 kilonewton. So I had loaded up a 1 kilonewton load over here, and it is of 1 meter from apart. So its of whole shaft length is of 2 meter, as you could see over here. And this is a point A, that's a point B, and this is a point C where the pulley has been loaded. Now I just draw, I know that once the force is known, I will be accepting two reaction forces, one at A and another one at C, saying Ra and Rb. So now we know that since it's a whole system is a symmetry, so Ra will be equal to Rb, which is equal to 0.5 kilonewton, half of it will be sharing up. So now I draw a reference line at A, B and C. So by doing this, then again, in order to draw in a bending moment, I will take one more shaft, a line which represent the shaft. So now, in order to calculate the whole momentum over there, so bending momentum at point A, if I could refer, say this at this point, if I had a point A, I will be considering all the forces that has been coming up towards clockwise. I will take it as a plus, anti-clockwise as a minus. So in this case, 1 into 1, we can 1000 Newton into 1. That's what I written over here. So minus, since it's an anti-clockwise, minus Rb is equal to 0.5, which is 500 Newton, into 2. The distance from there to here is 2, but my reference is point A. So now when I do this, whatever the element that I got would be 0. Now I will mark it. As you can see here, I have marked it 0 over here. So further, at point B, even the things remains same. So again at the point B, it is again a 0 Newton per 0 Newton meter. Now it's very important to find out what would be the momentum at C. So while in order to consider a momentum at C, either we will consider the forces at the right side of it or at the left side of it, any one of it. So here I consider this part of the forces. So where all I call it as a momentum at C. So 500 into 1, since it's a clockwise, it's a plus. So it will be 500 Newton meter. I'm going to mark that 500 Newton meter at this reference point, as you can see over here. Now joining the lines over here and darken it up, that's where the maximum bending momentum will be occurring. This is a point at maximum bending moment, point at vertical bending moment, not horizontal. It's a vertical maximum bending moment that occurs over here. So in a similar way, So I like to find out what will be the horizontal bending momentum over here. So in this, again I will be considering the same way I do follow with what I did in a vertical bending moment. So since here it's in a horizontal moment is of, if you remember, 2 tension T1 plus T2, so it's around 9,000 Newton. So again 1 meter apart, from here it lies in the mid of a way, which is of 2 meter long shaft. This is a point A and a point B, and this is a point C. Then followed by 2 reaction forces at A, RA, and at B it would be RB. Further, since both the symmetry, then RA plus RA is equal to RB is equal to 4,500 Newton, half of it. Then I draw just a reference lines over there, and I draw up one more line which refers the shaft. Now I am going to calculate what would be the bending momentum at point A. As you know this, as I said in earlier, all the forces that have been moving upon clockwise, that I consider as a plus and anti-clockwise as a minus. So therefore at point A it should be 0 Newton meter. In a similar way at point B also it would be 0 Newton meter, as you could see over here. And at the next point, it's very important, as I said, that at point C what would be the momentum. So at point C, either you consider the right side of it or left side of it. Since I will be considering the right side of it, since it's clockwise, so therefore 4,500 into 100, so the 4,500 Newton meters. So I'll mark it away in the 4,500 Newton meter on the reference line, then joining these lines and shading it up. So this point reflects the maximum horizontal bending moment at this case. Now the resultant bending momentum, what you need to find out. So we know one point the horizontal bending momentum, another was vertical bending momentum. Then the resultant of this would be somewhere like this. So which is around 4,527.6925 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton meter. So further, you have to find the diameter of a shaft. As I said that initially, the loads are steady. I said mark out that word, the loads are steady. So that now that way it comes in existence. Now from the table 3.1 of page number 47, you can see over here, the loads are steady and gradually loads, where Cm is 1.5, Ct is 1. Now I will be considering those two values, and you know that initially what I had in a Cm is 1.5, Ct is 1, and substituting all the values in this equation, where we have been derived in the initial part of this video, then substituting everything into this, like value of T, value of M, value of Cm and Ct, the diameter of what we get is 95.54. So this is a design procedure, or the procedure to be followed in order to design the shaft. Can you take it that in this case, I considered a belt drive and that been mounted at the mid of a shaft. In the next video, I will be considering a gear at the mid of a shaft and then try to solve the case. Thank you.